In this lesson, we're going to continue to talk about ratios and manipulating them. I've written a question here. 10 parts to 40 parts equals unknown to 32 parts. So in this, we have a partial equivalency. So we want to understand and figure out what this is. Okay? I can see that 40 turning into 32 is going to be difficult because we're only going to use division and multiplication for this to figure it out, because ratios we're talking about equal parts. So subtracting and adding doesn't actually work. So one of the easiest ways to figure out this question is to actually break it down and then build it back up. So what I mean by that is I'm going to break this down to the smallest parts it can, so simplifying it, and then I'm going to build it up so that this ratio is equal to 32. And in doing that process, I will find out what I have to do to 10 to get here. So let's start that. Let's break this down to the simplest term. Okay? So we can see that we can just divide both by 10. Divide by 10. I'm going to write it here in another color so we see what our equations are. So our new ratio is going to be 1 part to 4 parts. And now I can see what do I need for to get to 32. Okay? I can see that all I have to do is multiply that by 8. 8 multiplied by 4, or 4 multiplied by 8 is 32. So then I multiply by 8. Okay? So my new ratio will be 8, because 1 multiplied by 8 is 8, parts to 32. I have now solved for this piece, and I can put the answer there, is 8. And that's how to break it down and build it back up to see what the parts are properly. Okay, next question down here. I've added a third number. So we have 3 numbers in our question. 30 parts to 60 parts to 12 parts. Okay, now it may look more complicated, but don't get confused because it is really simple. The key to these questions is to find out the secret equation. Up here, the secret equation was divided by 10, multiplied by 8. Here, we just have to figure out what happened. So I'm going to hone in on the 2 known variables from one equation to the next. So what happened to the 12 to get to the 6? Well, that was chopped in half, or divided by 2. So the secret equation is simply divided by 2. So I'm going to divide both these by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15. And 60 divided by 2 is 30. There we have it. We have solved our equation. And that is how to manipulate ratios further.